Given that Fred Rispoli has picked today as the most likely date for the final decision, it is clear that people who support Ripple are hopeful that things will go similarly well. Rispoli, on the other hand, said it was very unlikely that the SEC and Ripple would reach a deal before the trial, even though there may still be some things that can be worked out. Following the lead set by Judge Annalise Sartorius, Judge Amy Berman Jackson of the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia has partially thrown out the charges that the Securities and Exchange Commission brought against Binance for selling BNB on the secondary market. Judge Jackson made the decision that the SEC did not provide enough proof to show that the sales of BNB tokens on cryptocurrency exchanges on the secondary market were securities deals. The SEC also said that Binance's fiat-backed stablecoin bus could be considered an investment contract, but the court did not agree with them. Judge Jackson said that dealing with the digital asset market case by case, coin by coin, and court by court led to unpredictable results and constant confusion. He said this because it's not clear what the business means. It was made on the same day last year, which showed that XRP is a commodity. When it is sold to the public, it was decided by Judge Torres in her summary ruling that Ripple's sales of XRP to institutions are an unregistered offer and sale of investment contracts, which is against Section 5 of the Securities Act. The price of XRP went up by more than 100% because of the huge effect this choice had on the Ripple community. As a reaction to Judge Jackson's decision, Ripple put out a notice of supplemental authority that made the legal position on how to classify digital assets during the proceeding stronger. Both Coinbase and Ripple have recently brought up the fact that their cryptocurrency regulations are not very clear in the documents they have created for their different court cases. Both companies say that the regulatory system isn't clear, which makes it hard for them to do their jobs and causes legal problems. In new court documents, Coinbase and Ripple have brought up the lack of clarity in regulations. Coinbase and Ripple have recently brought up the fact that their cryptocurrency laws are not very clear in the documents they put together for their different court cases. Both companies say that the regulatory system isn't clear, which makes it hard for them to do their jobs and causes legal problems. According to a court document filed on July 2nd, Coinbase said that Binance also agrees that the Securities and Exchange Commission needs to make rules about digital assets. Coinbase said that new laws are needed because the Assets and Exchange Commission has taken a very broad view of what it means for assets to lose value. Although the CSE has never given a clear reason for this interpretation, it is now trying to force it on the whole digital asset market by going through tough enforcement processes. Another thing Ripple did was use Binance's recent court victory to criticize the SEC's inconsistent approach to regulation and make the case for official rulemaking. The notice made it clear that intangible digital assets did not easily fit into the Howey test framework, a 7-page rule used to describe security. Ripple has said that it doesn't like how the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) relies on court cases to regulate the industry. It says that this could lead to unfair results and make it hard for market players to know what to do. In reaction to Ripple, the Securities and Exchange Commission talks a lot about fair notice but not about transactions that happen on the secondary market. After Ripple's notice of additional authority came out on July 3rd, the Securities and Exchange Commission criticized the SEC's approach of regulating by enforcement and called attention to the lack of regulatory clarity. The CSE brought up a recent decision from Binance. The Securities and Exchange Commission staff did not allow Ripple to use the Binance case as an example. George Tanri-Riro of the SEC said that it had nothing to do with the present motion. The agency said that Ripple forgot to include an important part of the Binance decision, which didn't accept the fair notice stance and stressed that the SEC used a federal security law that has been in place for a long time. The ruling also admitted that the cryptocurrency industry had been informed by the SEC's day report from 2017, which came out before most of Ripple's XRP sales. John Reed Stark, who used to work for the Securities and Exchange Commission, said that the Binance decision was a big loss for the exchange. In its response to Ripple on the fair notice part of the Binance decision, the Securities and Exchange Commission can be seen at the commission. The Securities and Exchange Commission said in the filing that Ripple had left out the important part of the Binance order that had rejected the reasonable warning defense. This was similar to a decision this court had made in the past. Fair notice is a legal concept that makes sure people know about all claims or legal actions that have been taken against them. This principle makes sure that everyone has the chance to respond or defend themselves, as well as the extra knowledge they need. When it comes to fair notice, the Securities and Exchange Commission told the Commission that they had given the required notice. However, the most recent letter from Ripple totally ignores the only thing about Binance that could have any effect on the remedies motion. In this part of the opinion, the claim that the idea of fair notice can protect someone from being sued is turned down, just like it was in this court. The CC has been warning the sector about the Dow report since it came out in July 2017, which is before most of the Ripple sales that are being fought in this case. Based on the fact that the accused knew the SEC could take action against them, the SEC thought that the Binance court had that in mind. That's a lot like the case where Ripple knew that what it was doing was dangerous because it had legal advice, but it still decided to go ahead with it. The SEC put a lot of weight on the fair notice problem, but it didn't talk about the Binance coin transactions on the secondary market or the decision about the programmatic sales of XRP. The Bitcoin X group is at a major point because Ripple turned down the SEC's offer to lower its fine to $102.6 million. XRP is in a dangerous situation right now, considering that Ripple and the XRP coin have already spent more than $200 million on lawyers. This decision could have a big effect on both. The value of XRP has gone down by 1.5 times in the last week and by 4.63 times in the last 24 hours. XRP is worth 45 cents right now. The trading volume hit $862 million, which is 14 times the previous high point. If market sentiment stays positive, there is still a chance that the value will rise even more. In May, the Securities and Exchange Commission sent a nice sex dress to the court to explain the importance of XRP's financial state and its legal claims. The SEC said that the court had to look into the case and find good solutions. The information given is not meant to be taken as trade advice. Any purchases made based on the information on this page are not the responsibility of the people who made them. Before making any investment decisions, you should definitely do your own study and talk to a professional who knows what they're talking about.